Hello students. Today the topic which we are going to see is going to be Android camera. See, all of us know what is a camera basically. It is used to mainly capture picture and video. And we can control the camera by using methods of camera API. Okay, generally Android provides us facility to work with camera by two ways. Okay, by using a camera intent, another is by using camera API. All of us know what is an intent. It has been previously discussed. The types of intent, what are intent. Intent is nothing but used to transfer data between activities, or we can say the communication between any two activities. That's normally called as an intent. And what is an API? It's an application program interface. APIs generally provide the tool that enables user interaction with the data from multiple applications. That is what is an API. I think I gave you an example of Uber that makes use of sophisticated database of drivers, GPS tracking, GPS data, messaging, and host of other capabilities, which are all coming from different sources. So one application making use of different uh, facilities of the different sources is normally called as the API. So as having told that, so these are the two ways how Android facilitated to us to work with the camera. So there are basically four classes in this. So first class is the media store class. In media store class, we have two methods. One is the action image capture, another is the action video capture. Normally, we use these methods by writing media store dot action image capture, and to use action video capture, we have to write media store dot action video capture. This is how we are going to use these methods. Second class after media store is camera itself. So the camera is going to be the main class. Generally, camera class is used to take picture as well as the video. The third class we are going to discuss is the surface view. So this class represents a surface view of or the preview of a live camera. And the last type is the media recorder. Media recorder is going to be used for recording video using the camera. It can also be used to record audio files, as we already know. The further details about the camera is going to be two ways to invoke it in Android app. One is going to be the intent, using the intent as I already told you. Another is going to be camera API. So using the intent, minimal coding is there and limited design flexibility is given, which means we have very limited design flexibility means you cannot customize too many interfaces or features. You cannot have features as you like. You will have very minimal coding in that, and you will have very limited flexibility in your design. So it will be fixed kind of thing. But the second one, using camera API, more coding can be used. It contains more coding, and you can customize the interfaces and features as per our wish. So if I want to customize more interfaces, I want to add more features, then I can do using more amount of coding. So accordingly, I can write the code and I can design it. Now, what is an intent? All of us know. So they have given what is the concept of intent. These are all discussed earlier itself. What are the types of intent? We know that explicit, implicit type. So next is using the existing camera apps. We have discussed already. What are the classes? Media store class. And then when you have to start a camera, it's an activity obviously. So we are going to use a method start activity for result in order to initiate the camera intent. And when you want to receive the intent result after clicking the photo or the video, then you have to use the method on activity result. And there are certain examples also given in these slides, which you can actually go through. The next topic which we are going to see today is all about the location services. So what is location services? It actually deals with finding out the location where we are currently or on movement. When we are moving, where are we actually located? So that is what is dealing with the location object. So here the first thing which we're going to see is the location object. This basically represents a geographical location of us. So what do we mean by geographical location? It is nothing but it contains the information of the latitude, longitude, timestamp, and other information such as bearing, altitude, and velocity. All these information taken together will be telling our geographical location where we are. So we know what is latitude, longitude. Timestamp is something, it is the time in which we are in a particular latitude and longitude. Bearing is nothing but it's going to be the direction specific related information, where we are, in which direction we are, and all that. So now we are going to see some very important methods which we are using with the location object in order to get location specific information. The first one is float distance to method. See, this is going to give us the approximate distance between a start location and the destination location. For example, start location is going to be our college and the destination location is going to be our home. So what is the approximate distance between them? So that is going to be given in this. The second method is float get accuracy method. So this is going to be more accurately getting the distance. Like what we did in the first method was to get the approximate distance between start location and stop location, I mean the destination location. So here you get the accurate distance in meters or feet or whatever it is in proper units. The third one is double get altitude. So this is going to give you the height where we are situated above the sea level. So altitude is nothing but where we are from the sea level. So what is the height in which we are from the sea level is going to be the altitude measure. And the fourth one is float get bearing. It is nothing but going to give you the exact direction where we are. Generally it is given in degrees. The next one is get latitude, distance, get longitude. All of them are given in degrees. Moving on to the seventh method, float get speed. See, this is going to be whenever there is a method called speed, it is during movement. We can be traveling in a car, we can be traveling in a bike or cycle, or we can even be walking. So it actually gets the location when we are in the movement. The eighth method is Boolean has accuracy. This is a method which is a Boolean, which returns a Boolean value. Boolean values are either true or false. So whatever location actually I'm searching, if it is an accurate location, then it returns a true value. Otherwise, it returns a false value. For example, if I want to reach a particular location and if I give exact location name properly, then it returns me a true value because that exists. And if you give a location with an approximation or if it's a wrong value or a wrong name, then it will return a false value. Ninth method is Boolean has altitude. So if I'm at a proper high level, actually, then it returns the true value. If I'm not at a high level, I'm just at the ground level, I'm not at any particular height, then it returns me a false value. The 10th method is Boolean has bearing. That means if I'm denoting, if I'm standing or if I'm on movement on a particular location, if there is a proper direction, then it returns me true value. If probably sometimes it happens we don't have a, we are not at a particular direction, it may be even a neutral one. So in that case, it will be returning a false value. Then Boolean has speed. This is the 11th method. Whenever I told you it is a speed related method, that means we are on movement. So it actually, if I'm on movement, either through walking or if I'm on a vehicle or something, if I'm actually on movement, it returns me a true value, otherwise false value. Then the 12th method is reset method. For example, after reaching to the particular destination, we need to clear the contents. If you want to clear the contents of the location, then we can use void reset, which clears the contents of the location based all the information after reaching the particular destination. The 13th method is void set accuracy method. So if, for example, we have to set accurate distance between the source and the destination, exactly in decimal points and in with proper precision and all that, then we can use this 13th method. And all the methods from 14 to 19 will be, all of them will be extension of what we have seen in the previous method. So we can just have a quick look on that. And now moving on, get the current location. This is the next topic. Get the current location is, as the name suggests, it gives the current location of the person you can be obtained. So we have to use an object called location client object, which is used to get the current location of a person. It makes use of two methods. One is a connect method and get last location method. Using these two methods, it is easy for us to get the current location of the person. There are certain callback methods which are very simple. The first callback method here is abstract void on connector. So this is something like, I'll explain you through an example. See, when I send my current location to, for example, my friend, and if she is able to track me through that location, if she is able to connect me through that current location and reach me, that is on connected. That means I'm able to share my current location with somebody and they are able to track me and they are completely connected until they reach the destination. So that is on connected. The second one is abstract void on disconnected, which means when I share a particular location and the person has reached me through this connection, then it is no more needed. So after reaching me, after, for example, the friend I shared the location and they reached me, it is not needed. So it is, on that point we can use on disconnected method. So the connection can be disconnected after reaching. The third one is when I try to establish a connection with my friend with my current location, and unfortunately it is connection is not being established and it gets failed. In that case, it is on connection failed method. So when we are not able to establish a connection and give them our current location, this method is taking place. Next is get the updated location. Updated locations, when is the location basically updated? When we are on movement. Obviously, when you are on movement, your location keeps on changing. So when you want to share your current location through while you're traveling or when you're on movement, then we have to use location listener object. You can either call it location listener interface or you can call it location listener object. So this object is used for getting the updated location. And a simple example can be Ola booking or a Uber booking app. So when you are booking a particular taxi and you are planning to travel to a far off place, for safety reasons, you can ask your friend to track your taxi. So how are they able to track your taxi? Only using location listener interface, it is very much possible. So that is main use of this. The last topic is the location quality of service. This is like quality of service. It is like a requesting a quality of service. So when do I request some quality or quality of service? Generally, when I do not have a proper quality, then only we request for it. So when I, for example, I share my location with somebody, I like to share my location with somebody, and unfortunately signal is lost, then we have to use this particular location request object. So using location request object, the person can request for a quality of service for all the location updates from the location client. Location client can be the person who likes to share their location to somebody else, and that somebody only can do this location, can use this location request object in order to request for quality of service, in order to get the location updates for their client. So this is how it generally works. Thank you very much, students. I hope this lecture was useful for all of you. Thank you.